All right, welcome everybody to the Roofer Masterclass. I am your host, Pete McKendrick, with my co-host, Nick, and our special guest star today, Mike from CompanyCam. So very excited about this masterclass. Nick and I have been looking forward to this for a while. We're going to get to showcase something really awesome here today, and that's our integration with CompanyCam. So very excited to have Mike on to join us here and walk us through it from their side and kind of explain a little bit about CompanyCam for you that potentially don't know CompanyCam as well. And just have Mike give a quick overview. So Mike, give you a chance to introduce yourself and kind of give us a high-level overview of what you guys do over there at CompanyCam.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, guys. So I'm Mike Knott. I do platform partnerships over at CompanyCam. So working primarily with our integration partners, from the implementation side of things and then the internal training, that sort of thing. I've been with CompanyCam for about 3 years now and been in a couple different roles. So for you guys that don't know what CompanyCam is, I might just give like a very high level overview of what it is. It's a pretty easy tool to understand. So a lot of it's just me yapping. Essentially, we were started like in 2016, I think, roughly was when the first prototype of the tool came out. But it was started by a roofing company that was just having trouble consolidating, organizing, and then utilizing the actual job site photos that their foremen, subcontractors, that sort of stuff we're taking. And like if you're in roofing, you're in exterior, especially if you're in like the restoration side of that, you need like a ton of photos, right? For a bunch of different purposes, for internal communication, just to be able to know what people are actually doing beyond like arrived, like you actually want to know what's going on. So internal communication, external communication with your customers, and then ultimately you want to utilize that photo data to get paid, right, by like insurance companies that need proof of work and that sort of stuff. And our founder, just like I think most roofing companies, had a standard operating procedure, which was just take photos, right? But what that meant is that like half of their crews were taking photos with their iPhone, half of their crews were dumping stuff into Google Drive or into a WhatsApp chat or something like that. And it's because it's like hard to organize and actually utilize that. So what our tool does is basically recreate the flow of taking a photo on your iPhone, right? Which is pull out CompanyCam, take photo, but it does all of the back end work. So as soon as you snap a photo anywhere out in the field, all of that stuff is syncing to your unique cloud, right? And it's going to be organized by the job site, by the day, time, the geotag of where it's actually taken, and then who took it. From there, you can add notes, annotations, so draw on those photos. But importantly, all of that is synced into packages around the job site, which makes it very easy to utilize, right? And the reason I think we're both here talking today is beyond just having that stuff organized, the next question that most companies are going to ask themselves is like, what do we want to do with these photos, right? And so for CompanyCam, we want to be able to interface with our customers, with our insurance adjusters, and we want to have all of that data, that photo data, in the other tools we use. So that could be your CRM maybe, or for our purposes here today, your estimating and proposal tool, which is Roofr, right? And that I think is like the ultimate benefit. Like we don't do a ton of stuff, right? We're just really, really, really good at photo capture and like bad cell service. Like you have a 60-year-old tech or somebody that's never worked for your company, anyone can pick it up and utilize it. And then with an integration with Roofr, like I think we'll kind of go through, then you can just kind of do whatever you need in Roofr with all of that photo data as soon as it's captured out in the field. So really exciting. Like I said, we're a pretty light, nimble tool. We rely on heavier softwares like you guys to fill in a lot of the larger operating procedures that a roofing or exterior company might go through on a daily basis. So yeah, thanks for letting me intro and thanks for having me.
Yeah, super excited to have you on, Mike, and really excited about this integration. I know Nick and I really looked forward to it. I think that it just adds so much value, and you guys are such a widely used tool, right? Like you're just such a household name in the industry that, I felt like, I know we felt internally like it was a no-brainer, right, to be associated with you guys. And it's just such a nice flow, the way the two products feed together. So we're really excited about the way we've been able to incorporate you guys into our workflow. and have the two products sync together, which we're going to kind of show today. And, really have them intertwined through the whole entire process. It's not a one-stop shop like you'd get a lot of times. I worked from a CRM. I came from a CRM background, and we had CompanyCam integrated, but it was very like one-sided, where we just pulled information from you guys, and that was more or less it. And we used it, how they wanted to use it inside the CRM. And here we've kind of, created this syncing process where the information's flowing two ways, and really, leaving it open to the contractor and how they want to utilize this integration, right? Do they want to lean heavy on the CompanyCam side? Do they want to lean heavy on the Roofr side? Do they want to use them equally as much? So I really like the way that it's come together, and I'm really looking forward to the fact that we have it, and working with you guys moving forward, to just figure out what we can do to even evolve further than what we've got. So,
yeah. And I just want to jump in here just to sing your guys' hosannas a little bit. Like we've been chatting here probably since January or so, and started to scope it around April. And you guys are just like, I usually come with like a pretty, light, minimal viable product. Like, let's just get some data moving back and forth. People just want to cut steps out. And you guys were constantly just, to me, and we're in agreement, like, we're going to wait until we can implement, like, as you guys just did, like the job. We're going to wait to implement that because we want this integration to be end to end, a seamless process. At any step, you can jump back and forth between CompanyCam, into Roofr. It's just like, when things are as clean as this, it's just incredibly easy to implement standard operating procedures around them. You're not having to train people on, little hiccups, things that don't work in it. So yeah, I'm really excited about it purely from the user experience side of things as well. So yeah, sorry to keep chatting.
No, perfect. Nic, what do you think, man? I think that, you and I have talked about this at length. So.
Oh yeah. And it's funny, right before we jumped on today, I was saying, like, it makes me want, like, playing around with CompanyCam, just the ease of use is just like, why didn't I have this when I was roofing? Like, this would have made life so much easier. And one thing that, like, wasn't mentioned in some of the uses that CompanyCam has, and why everybody should be using it, is even just kind of covering your butt as a contractor.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how many times that I've gone to a site where I've been walking around and I saw, like, going to win at the base level. And back then I would take out my phone, and this is before CompanyCam, I would take out my phone, take a picture, and then move that filter across until it had a timestamp that would go on it, and then put the phone back in my pocket. But now with this, like with CompanyCam, you're able to do that, cover your butt, making sure that you have everything, keep your guys to task, knowing exactly what's happening with shared projects, and then also implementing it to provide and Pete, get ready to do a shot, some more transparency and education to the homeowner. And that's such a huge part there, and it's unbelievable. And the last thing I will say too, that Mike touched on, that I think is a huge benefit by marrying these two tech pieces together, Roofr and CompanyCam, is implementing that standard operating procedure for your company. Everybody that's probably at one of these masterclasses or watching later is looking to ways to kind of better their company, grow their company, and get to that next level. To do that without standard operating procedure, you're going to run into a brick wall time and time again. But with something like CompanyCam and Roofr working together, having those things pass back and forth, keeping your team, your subs, whomever's on the other part of your CompanyCam account aware of what's going on with the measurements, the proposal, it's a no-brainer. It's just a perfect match made in heaven.
Yeah. Thanks for knowing our value props better than I do. Truth and transparency, liability protection. Exactly right. Yeah.
I'm hunted for it. I got it all.
Well, let's dive into it. I mean, Nic, I think you're going to share your screen, right? We're going to dive into exactly how this works and what we've built. So let's go ahead and take a look at it and kind of walk through how the integration functions and what the capabilities are of it, and we can kind of talk through it as we go. But I think it's important here that we show everybody what we built, how capable it is.
Yeah, let me know when you can see the screen there, but we're going to start off on that CompanyCam screen, the beautiful dashboard that they have there. And we're going to I already have my CompanyCam Cam account open. I have some projects already in there, some photos updated and everything. And it all starts here. It's super easy, super well organized to kind of navigate and go through. And you could kind of have the projects either started here or we'll show starting with Roofr. So right before this, I jumped into a address. I got 67 Hill Drive, and I created a project here and uploaded some photos of back in my roofing days of some damaged roofs. The really cool thing is once you're in Roofr, is like Mike said, it's end to end. So not only are we starting at like a job level, but we're also going to be able to transfer the information back and forth. So starting over at the job side here, and like we said on our past master classes, now we have the customers, the jobs, the measurements, and the proposals. It's the full end-to-end system. So when you start to create a new job, you can just click on that button at the top and type in the address here. I'm going to just do 67 Hill Drive in Aurora. Select from the drop down, and I'm going to create from CompanyCam. I'm just going to hit that button down here, and it's going to sync those two together, and it's going to automatically check for satellite imagery, so I can do my next step, which is either ordering a report, creating a proposal, or drawing a DIY. And Pete, how much easier can it get that now that with just doing that and connecting the two, now CompanyCam and Roofr for that same project is going to speak side by side now?
Yeah, and I mean that's so simple, right? Like just being able to do it right there as you're creating a new job, it's syncing the projects, and now you don't have to worry about it, right? So what traditionally has been done manually, right? Having to technically, like, let's say, move our report, right? Download our report, upload it into CompanyCam, or potentially download their pictures and upload them here, right? Now we've taken all that away, right? Because now we've created a sync where all that stuff is moving in the background and you don't have to worry about it, right? So I mean, that's just a huge piece. I know, a lot of contractors that I talk to were like, well, I'm moving stuff, I'm downloading here and putting it over there so I can reference it and, utilize it later on a proposal. So we've taken all that away by just being able to quickly go in and sync it right there at the creation of the job and, allow you to have all that stuff moving on its own in the background. So you don't even have to worry about it.
And nobody likes data entry. You don't want to double data entry.
Yeah.
It sounds horrible.
Not only data entry, but data consistency, right? Like if you, in the back of your head as a roofer, think like I'm always relying on somebody else other than myself, somebody out in the field, somebody back in the office to make sure that we have all the data we need across different platforms, that becomes very stressful, in my opinion. Like knowing that all of that is synced back and forth, and that regardless of who's looking at what software, everything they need to know, everything that as a company is always going to be there. Like that just makes communication so much easier, right? Like you're not asking like, is that reporting CompanyCam? Like, are the CompanyCam photos in Roofr, right? You just know it's all there.
Yeah, it's getting that consistency, that standard operating procedure down, and knowing that you can kind of set it and forget it. You could go in and order in that report, and it takes no time. Like you know that it's set in, it's ready to rock and roll, and easy to go, and it helps out everything there.
Yeah.
And I know back in the CRM days, we used to have a lot of issues with when we were moving across platforms with information, things being entered incorrectly, like, of street number being 1 digit off or something like that, and it creates this huge issue of, now we have projects in both that don't line up. Right. So, so this, like you said, Mike, this adds that consistency across the two platforms now that we don't have to worry about potentially having human error in the double entry process. So it's huge.
The really cool thing too that I love is like, so I just drew a DIY on the spot, which is nice and easy, but then I could even go back into the jobs list and order a report, and it takes just amount of like a couple seconds. Everybody's who's been on Roofr has played around with the ordering report, and it's only $10. It's really going to make that process easy. And then after that, you can go out to the job, and it comes down to that, again, standard operating procedure where you can get a lead in, create a job in a Roofr, order a report in the on the spot, and then now that job is now synced in with CompanyCam, and you can get your field agent to go out there and do an inspection photo with CompanyCam. You're just setting the steps in play, and you're able to do that knowing that not to worry, because once these are done, they're going to show up in my CompanyCam account, and the documents are going to be there. So it just really kind of sets that stage for a proper thing. So a lead comes in, you qualify it, you order the report once you know it's there, and you've already created, because you created the job in Roofr, it's created in CompanyCam. Let your field agent know that on their to-do list in CompanyCam, there is that new project. Go out there, do some inspection photos, do everything there, and then they could not have to send it back to the office to create that proposal for that sales agent. They can go right in there, and from those from the roofer profile, you can create that proposal right from the spot. And it now adding in the photos and everything is going to be there because it's already linked to that CompanyCam account. So
Yeah, let's see. I love the pick list you guys built. I think that's probably coming up here in a second, but it's just like the
yeah,
most like seamless way to get data. Like especially if you're proposal forward, like you guys are, it's just like the most seamless way to get data out of CompanyCam, grab what you need, add it where you need it.
yeah, it's really fun too, because like you already have those templates built in. It's going to take all that measurement data that we already have and bring it over. And one of my favorite features about the whole CompanyCam integration with this is that I can choose now to upload the regular photos, the stock photos that you have.
Oh, we just lost your audio for a second there, Nic.
Yep.
But to Nic's point, the ability to bring in your photos is definitely adding a whole nother layer to this, right? Like it's such an important part, especially for our guys that do any kind of insurance work or inspections or, anything where those pictures are very important for the, backup information, of, potentially a proposal that we're presenting, maybe to close an insurance deal. All of that supporting evidence is huge. So if we've taken all of those photos on that side, being able to quickly bring that stuff over here with the click of a button now is is a very, very important feature. Are you back, Nic? I guess not. No, we don't have you. Your headset has broken.
Yeah.
So, but to his point, right? The thing about it here is that we can preset these templates, right? So it's very easy to roll our measurements into it. I love the fact that when you create a measurement or you create a proposal, that it's feeding that stuff back into CompanyCam, because I know a lot of customers go back and forth, right? A lot of our contractors will come in here, create a measurement, but then when they get out in the field, their sales guys are operating out of CompanyCam so that they can take the photos. The fact that they can reference that report, like I know a contractor who purposely puts his roofer report into his CompanyCam account so his sales rep can actually field verify our roofer report. And he was telling me even earlier today, I was talking to him, and he was saying that his accuracy has never been as good as it is now, because he has the ability to go in there and field verify, because it's right there in CompanyCam as they're adding their pictures. They just quickly open it, take a measurement or two off the house, reference it to the report. If they need to, they can go in and edit the roofer report, and then all that information is feeding their proposal, it's feeding their material orders, and it just makes everything more accurate.
Yeah, and for CompanyCam people, like what I hear it most often, right, is like how they're kind of utilizing it is at that very front end inspection side of things, right? Like, or maybe just setting, like door knocking, setting. Maybe we have our sales guy go out there to scope get the scope of work, and then we're kind of disappearing through the estimating proposal phase of things. We might like jump in for verification, that sort of stuff. But then we come back all the way through production, right? Because CompanyCam users typically are using us throughout the production stage. But what Roofr allows you to do, pushing all of that relevant data back into CompanyCam as you're going, is you just have way more data for your takeoff as well. Then, like as you're going from signed proposal through to production, you have all of that valuable measurement data, the scope of work, all pushing back into CompanyCam as well. So just really cool end to end.
Yeah, and I think this is the part that you were talking about here, Mike, where now, that Nic is in here. I don't think he has any volume, but but we can kind of walk through it, is that, now we have the easy ability to, with our photos now, where before you could only upload a photo, now you can quickly import. You just, it's going to sync to the project. It's going to pull those pictures right in. And one of the things that we've recently added is even the ability to separate them out between the original and the annotated photos. So you have the option to bring in one or the other or both. So that's a huge feature, for us to be able to bring those in, especially like in an insurance situation or whatever, to have those annotated photos and be able to attach them, maybe even just for review of a customer, right? If I'm sitting at the kitchen table with a customer, I may want to really pinpoint some damage, and maybe I annotated it when I was in my taking my photos in CompanyCam. Now I can bring those annotated photos in and show those here. So, it's a huge advantage to be able to just work with those pictures and quickly add them. We have essentially, it adds an entire page of photos. You even have the ability to add additional comments in here if you need to on the photo side in Roofr for reference. But yeah, it's very seamless. The whole process is very seamless between the two, all the way through. Like you said earlier, I think the fact that the products are intertwined throughout the process is really what makes this so powerful. In that, the two-way sync is really huge. Like it's feeding information back and forth throughout the process, all the way now from the capturing of the lead to the signing of the contract. So.
Yeah. And to Nick's point earlier, right? Like one of the powers of like having very accurate data, like you're pulling from Roofr, with measurements and that sort of stuff, is your ability to properly communicate and educate your customer. And that only is further reinforced if you have like photo evidence of what you're talking about throughout the process. So you have this like really killer proposal, plus you have all of the actual supporting data. Like your customer is not going to probably jump up on the roof with you, right? Like you probably wouldn't want them to.
Right, exactly.
But if you go up there and capture all that stuff, and then you're able to use that as references all in one clean report that you can send to your customer via email, they can have forever. Just, that sells more jobs, that builds, a better customer relationship for referrals, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, just kind of looking through the questions here as we go. I think that I think some great questions. One of the questions: will you need to order the report through Roofr, or can you order it through CompanyCam? I think Kate was able to jump in and answer that. But yeah, the question is right now: you order your Roofr reports on the Roofr side, and then they automatically sync back to CompanyCam, so they'll display over there. But you would still order it from inside your Roofr account. The question of the app always comes up. Will Roofr ever have an app? Potentially in the future, no telling. But right now we are web-based. So I think one of the things to note here that Mike mentioned is that your product does work offline, correct, Mike?
Yes. Yep.
Right.
Obviously, we won't be able to, consume Roofr reports if you're offline. But yeah, I mean, if you're out in the field and you're trying to capture photo data and you have 0 bars, something like that, we'll tray all of that. And then, of course, any information that's that's currently stored in your CompanyCam account, you'll be able to view as well.
Nick, are you back?
I'm back.
He's back. All right.
I'm back. I don't have the presentation skills right now. I just audibled and jumped on my phone because the using my data because the Wi-Fi went down here for a second. But wow. Yeah. What I was showing right before we jumped off was that being able to upload those annotated images directly into a detailed proposal, being able to show off everything as we go, and it's unbelievable. It's really, really cool how seamless it is. My favorite part is what we're about to show too. I'm just waiting for the internet to come back there, is being able to actually transfer that data that you guys were talking about when I just hopped back on, is having those files in there. For that, I believe, Mike, you said there's like the field verification as well. So having those all transferred, love seeing that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, it's just such a powerful together, the two tools are so powerful. I mean, they're both powerful tools separate of each other, but now that they're so intertwined, it just, it's gonna be a great tool to use. So, let's see what we got here. Any other questions? Does Roofr have material list and PO output? At the moment, Colin, the answer is no. We are working in that direction to be able to roll our proposal into a material list, hopefully in the near future. I think that's it. I think we're caught up on questions there. So good. I mean, yeah, I mean, to everybody's point, I think that, I think that most people at this point are using CompanyCam, are using, it effectively out in the field, and now giving them the ability to potentially even take it a step further here. I like what Mike said. I think it's a great to be able to now take those pictures and add them to a report that customer is going to have, all the time in their hand for life. So, it's a great way to utilize these two tools together. And, and I think that, it definitely makes it a more powerful process for both of us, right? I think that, for us, the photos are definitely a great addition to the proposal. Anytime you can add photo evidence to a proposal, it definitely is a better selling point in a more powerful sales tool to be able to showcase that. And to Mike's point, like, I don't necessarily want a customer climbing up on a roof to look at stuff, with me. So this is a great way to showcase that stuff without having to, have them on the ladder. So always looking for ways to streamline that. And I think that this is a great way to do it. So
it always helped me during the sales process too, to kind of give them that like intimate experience with their roof. So I'd always go up because I didn't have CompanyCam at the time. What I would love doing was taking photos and coming down off the roof, especially while I was doing it, to talk about like, hey, you got some mold in your attic here. It's creating some dry rot and some separation. So not only can you do that before the job with the Roofr CompanyCam integration and show them in the proposals and walk them through step by step, but you can also do it during and with all that information kind of back and forth. And with the fact that you have those proposals transferred back to CompanyCam, you could show them on the spot, like, hey, this is what we agreed on. Here's your signed contract. I have that on site in my CompanyCam file now. But this is what we just discovered also in CompanyCam. So these are the kind of next steps and options that we could take here. And it really kind of cleans up that process and makes sure that they feel comfortable, they feel taken care of, and that there's no going to be any miscommunication there at all.
Yeah. One shameless plug for CompanyCam real quick, just because I feel like there's a good mix of our current customers and some of your customers as well, is that like I just out of habit, because I've worked here long enough, I'm always saying photos, but we have recently released like 4K video walkthroughs as well, which is super easy. Take those videos, copy those, and you can just add that right into the email, or if there's a place in like in your edited proposal to drop a link to that file down there as well. So not just photos, videos as well. So all right, done shamelessly plugging for the webinar. Along
the shameless plug, though, I do want to kind of put you on the spot here, Mike, with the question. The customer that someone just asked here, about the membership to CompanyCam, like a subscription to CompanyCam. And I think it's important to note here that you guys, start out with a free you can start out with a free version, right? Like if you've never used CompanyCam before and you just want to see how it works, Mike and his team do have a free version of CompanyCam that you can jump on and use, right? And it's fully functional, correct,
give you
Mike?
20. Yeah. Well, we start out giving you so we have a couple different tiers. Like you can literally just go sign up for a free trial and get like the full rundown on it. But at a high level, we have like a free tier, our pro tier, which is most everything, and then our premium tier, which gives you some branded stuff and a higher quality of video capture. Most people hang out in the pro tier though. But yeah, we give you 2 weeks for free to field test everything after you actually set up your Roofr integration, if you're a Roofr customer. And then because Roofr
You're breaking up a little bit there, Mike. Is he breaking up for you, Nick?
Average price is $19 a month per user.
Yeah, which is incredibly cost effective, right?
It's insane.
Yeah.
Like that should be a no-brainer to any business owner, just to make sure that you're tracking everything, you're accountable, you have everything there. $19 a user, it's nothing, and that's per month. You're looking at, like, I spend more of that on coffee every month. Like it's a perfect kind of system where you can kind of marry them together.
Well, off 20% off.
Exactly, with that discount code there. So you can have them at roofr.com/CompanyCam or CompanyCam.com/roofr. We do have like landing pages there where we have our discount codes available. And I know that, like, on our team here, we have our link in the chat for demos. If you ever want to take a look at it, see it up close, see what the possibilities are, we're happy to go, and the sales team bring you through the entire flow, kind of make it secure to exactly what you're using, what you're doing, and implement our new partnership together to your current process to make it even better than you have right now.
Yeah, and the last thing is, even if, like, you just want more context, like, maybe you were fiddling around on your phone through half of this and you're like, I'd like to go back and look a little bit. Roofr's done like it built a lot of good videos on how the integration functions, a lot of good resources there. Even if you're just curious, either CompanyCam.com/Roofr or Roofr.com/CompanyCam, you'll find the same information. Explains how everything works again.
Yeah, and I think one of the big things to note here too is that both of our success teams are comfortable with this now and can actually, walk you through it. If you're a CompanyCam user interested in Roofr, or maybe using both, and you just want to, you contact one of the success teams and get it set up and get a walkthrough of how it works. I think at this point, both of our teams are pretty confident in how how it works and helping you get it set up to work efficiently for you. So definitely take advantage of us both here.
All right. Well, if there's no more questions.
Yeah. I mean,
like, it's usually in and out's better for, here we go.
Lots of Roofr questions here on the platform. Financing is something that we are looking at, Alfredo. It's probably something that we'll offer in the near future. So, obviously it's something that we've definitely considered as soon as we added proposals. Obviously the next step in that process would be to potentially wrap financing into that. So, definitely keep an eye out for that in the near future. I think that's something that you'll see from us. So,
Alfredo, in the meantime, you could also set a meeting. You have that meeting link in the chat there. Set a meeting with us, because you could also build out your financing, like, quick link to it in your email messages that you could put directly to your customers when you're sending out the proposals. So that would allow them to actually look at the financing, get approved before even looking at the proposal. So you have an up to amount and be able to kind of work with them on upgrades and everything there too. Be happy to take you and show you about that as well.
Jonathan, that's a great question. And I think there's a couple of answers here. Specifically with regards to what we're talking about, obviously the difference here is the fact that we're synced through the whole entire process. And the way that this is a two-way sync between CompanyCam and Roofr, that makes us fairly unique. I mean, Mike, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's probably the most unique integration that you guys have, right? The only one that two-way syncs, correct?
Yeah. And it's also, like, I think it just connects more dots, like from, before you're even, like, out on a job site, you're using Roofr for stuff. So it's cinching up more parts of the workflow that most roofers go through, as far as, like, the measurement side of things, So yeah, that's what I'd say. I mean, what I always tell anyone, if you're like, what's the difference between Roofr, Sumo Quo, that sort of stuff? Well, I mean, that's why there's trials available to you. Like, you can go and test it out yourself, right? I always tell everyone, like, test out the tech that your industry is talking about. Because sometimes people will find one that they like more than the other.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, Nick and I are firm believers that you got to find the tech that is right for your company. and not every tech is, there's no one tech that is perfect for everybody. And, I think looking at them all and figuring out which one is the best fit for what your workflow is and what your process is the best way to go. So,
yeah, it's super important to kind of feel out exactly what you're looking for. Talk to multiple providers, whether it be a CRM, a quoting system, a measurement system, and see where their values fit yours. How are they going to help you get to the next level? And those are the things that you should focus at. There's a lot of good products out there, us included, obviously. CompanyCam being one of the tops out there as well. But find out what is best for you and your company, and it's going to get you to that next level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just from like my own experience being in the industry and working, on platform partnerships, what I typically find is like, if you're looking for other stuff, like go check out the software that you trust, like that you're using now. Go like check out their integration store, their app store, because like typically they're going to be integrating with the stuff that they feel is the cleanest fit and is doing the most for their customers, right? So just one other call out on that.
Yeah, that's a great point of view. I like that. Well, I really appreciate everybody jumping on. Mike, so much. Thanks so much for coming on here. I mean, I think it was great to have you on to kind of walk through the CompanyCam side of it, right, and give some context there for maybe some folks that aren't as familiar with CompanyCam as we are, and also Nick, thanks for switching back and forth and staying with us there.
I got back onto the computer. Yeah, it ended up working again. So we're back in live.
Right. So thanks for doing that. And it looks like we've about covered everybody's questions. So hopefully this was informative for everybody. Like Nick said, like Mike said, lots of great information. We've created a lot of good videos. We have some co-branded landing pages on the CompanyCam side and the Roofr side that you can hit up for extra information and, take advantage of us, book a demo, get with your customer success, manager and find out what you need to know and get yourself going on this integration, because it is super powerful and it really is going to streamline what you're doing.
For sure. Hey, thanks for having me, guys. Happy Tuesday to everyone.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. All right. Be sure to check us out on the next Roofr Masterclass.
Thanks, everyone.
Look forward to seeing everybody then.
Talk to you later.